You have God-sized goals and not so God-sized goals. You have dreams and high value things that you want to achieve, my friend. I know you do. And I have 3 steps that will help you get the things done that have the highest impact on your life. Because we're not just getting any old thing done, we're getting the highest value things done. Hey there, my friend. Jenna Dexter here, Christian life and mindset coach for women. And this is Total Thrive. This is where you are empowered to confidently achieve a thriving and purpose-filled life. And the way to get things done and achieve your God-sized goals or any sized goals is to do these 3 things. Step 1, get clear on your highest level goals and priorities, the ones that will make the biggest impact on your life. Step number 2, define the tasks that you need to do to achieve those goals. And step number 3, eat the frog. In other words, do the hard thing, perhaps the unpleasant thing, or the thing in and of itself isn't necessarily that hard, but choosing it over other things that you think are more important to do today, right now, makes it hard to choose that other thing. I'll talk more about that in a moment. But Mark Twain was said to have given this advice: if you ever have to eat a live frog, it's best done first thing in the morning. And if you ever have to eat 2 frogs, eat the bigger one first. And no one wants to eat a frog, right? I mean, ew. But if you got to eat a frog, just do it. Be like Nike. Just do it. Get her done. Tackle it. Eating the frog is basically the idea of taking immediate action on the thing that will make the biggest impact. Oftentimes, a task that you want to procrastinate doing. Or, as I said before, feels like, oh, I don't really have time for that today. I can do that another time. I have all these other more important things to do. Even though you know that doing it and doing it consistently will get you the massive result that you long for. Eat the Frog is habit number 3 in Win the Day: 7 Daily Habits to Help You Stress Less and Accomplish More by Pastor Mark Batterson, which I've been reading and talking about right here as I go. Mark Batterson says, you can't just pray like it depends on God. You have to also work like it depends on you. If you want God to do the super, you've got to do the natural. And you have to start first thing in the morning. He also says, if you want to win the day, you've got to attack it. How? Eat the frog. This habit is also the premise for the book Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy, which I read back in 2019. And it was truly impactful for me in attacking the tasks that have actually moved the needle in my life. I'll link both books in the description if you want to check them out. I'm going to talk more about this idea of eat the frog in a moment, because that is the main focus for today. That is the main thing that I want to talk about today. But first, let's talk about step 1, getting clear on your goals and your highest priorities. Because you can't eat the frog and do the thing if you're not clear on what you really want. Do you want to grow a side hustle and quit your job? Do you want to run a marathon, or maybe just get more fit? Do you want to get more consistent in spending time with God? I have a coaching client who is a homemaker, and her dream, her vision, is to make her home heaven on earth. Doesn't that sound like the most amazing dream for any of us, whether you're a homemaker or not, is to make your home heaven on earth? For her, it's the idea of making her home beautiful. She's really great with design and decorating. It's also about making it clean and organized and inviting for people to come in, and foster an environment where everyone feels comfortable, where everyone feels the presence of God. And it encourages conversation, which can be life-giving and purpose-filled and lead others into the kingdom ultimately. But it starts by creating heaven on earth in her home. If you're like 81% of Americans, perhaps you want to write a book like me. So, what is it for you? What are your highest level goals and priorities? And now envision yourself at the end of 2024. If you're listening to this in 2024, you're putting away your Christmas decorations and you're thinking about what you accomplished this year. You're thinking about where you are in that moment. I actually did fill in the blank. What did you do? What did you accomplish? What did you achieve? When you're packing up your Christmas decorations, are you sitting there going, oh my gosh, I actually started that podcast? Oh my gosh, I actually ran that marathon. I'm so proud of me. I lost the weight that I set out to lose and maintained it. So you're putting away your Christmas decorations and you have achieved the thing or series of things. And you're smiling and it's a beautiful thing. But first, it started with you knowing what you wanted. Because the first thing in achieving your most thriving life is knowing what you actually want, what God wants for you, what God might be calling you to. So figure that out if you haven't yet and write it down. Take time today to figure out what you really want and write it down. Then, step number 2, define the tasks that you need to do to achieve those high level goals. What is the next task you need to do to grow your side hustle? Did you actually sign up for a specific marathon yet? Huh? Have you? And do you have a training plan that you're going to follow or that you already are following? And what's your next run? Do you have a specific plan in place for when and how you're going to spend time with God? Do you have a Bible reading plan? Are you going to go through a specific study? Do you want to start writing in a prayer journal? And do you have one? On your way to creating a home that is heaven on earth, do you need to just start by decluttering your house? And where exactly are you going to start? Maybe it's just your kitchen drawer. Sometimes a task is a one and done thing. I needed to do the task, I did the task, I'm done. Yay me. But oftentimes it's a consistent one that needs to be done every day or routinely, maybe once a week or a couple times a week, something that has to be done consistently in order to get the ultimate goal for this bigger vision that you have. One that might lead to the completion of a big project, but one that might seem that it's not really worth doing today. I can do that tomorrow because I have all these other things that I really need to get done today. I don't even have time to start that. I can't even do that ever. I can't ever do that because I have way too many things that are way more important. And that other thing will just take away too much time. It's too big. And spending even just 30 minutes doing that thing wouldn't move the needle enough. So why bother? And that's one of the biggest reasons why eating the frog can be so hard because the frog might not seem worth it in that moment because you might have to eat a lot of frogs in order to get the result that you're looking for. Like eating less food today might not move the scale tomorrow when you get on it. But if you eat less food every day, eventually you're going to see the difference in the scale. Writing your book for 30 minutes a day might not seem worth it. But as James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, says, the days can be easy if the years are consistent. You can write a book or get in shape or code a piece of software in 30 minutes per day. But the key is you can't miss a bunch of days. So even if you miss a day or a couple of days, you can't consistently miss days. You have to be somewhat consistent if you're going to achieve the thing. But you can do it in 30 minutes a day. And this truly inspired me to actually start writing my book, both from what James Clear said and from Win the Day, because something that Mark Batterson said in one of the first chapters about getting your book written and steps to actually getting the book written inspired me. It's like, I got to do it. I just got to do it. I keep saying that I don't have time, but I got to make the time. And I got to I can do at least 30 minutes a day. I can do at least 30 minutes a day. Now, I did go through a phase for a couple of weeks here where a different frog was more important. But as of today, before I hit record to do this, which was going to be my frog, I'm like, nope, I got to get back to writing the book. It's time. And I made myself spend 30 minutes. I told Alexa, set the timer for 30 minutes, and she did. She's really good at that. And she let me know when it was time to be done. And sometimes I've written for a lot longer than 30 minutes. I get in a flow and I keep going, but I can't go for too long because there really are other pressing things I need to get to. So if I can at least get in the 30 minutes, I feel really good about myself. And I am making slow, steady progress and getting the book done. Small, consistent action achieves massive results in the long run, my friend. Okay, so step number 2 was to define your tasks that you need to do to achieve your high level goals. Step number 3, eat the frog. When the time comes, take immediate action without hesitation and do the thing. Just do the thing. I emphasize take immediate action and to not hesitate. It's kind of like diving into a cold pool or the ocean where like, oh, maybe I just want to step in a little at a time and get used to the water and just slowly go in. No, 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 no. Just dive in and go for it. Head first, all in. and stay in until you have completed the task, and then do the next thing, and then the next thing. Because eating the frog isn't just one thing you do each day. Remember what Mark Twain said, if you ever have to eat a live frog, it's best done first thing in the morning. And if you ever have to eat two frogs, eat the bigger one first. So you get the thing that has the biggest impact on your life done first. And then you move on to the next biggest thing and the next biggest thing. Ask yourself throughout each portion of your day, what's my next frog? What's my next thing? Starting with your morning routine, the very first thing you do when you wake up. For me, my morning routine starts with worship music. Literally, Alexa is on routine to wake me up with soothing worship music. I just lay there and I listen to like a whole entire song while my cat jumps up on the bed and I start petting her because she knows she can't be on the bed until that song starts. She knows it. I can't sleep with her on my bed. So she jumps on the bed when the song starts. We cuddle for a little bit. Before that song ends, I'm up and I'm turning on my twinkle lights and I'm feeding the cat and I'm doing my stretching and Pilates while I'm listening to my music and I still have my jammies on. It's great because I'm just all cozy in my jammies and I'm just laying on the floor stretching and doing Pilates type things and I'm doing some push-ups and it's just a little 5-minute little routine that gets me doing some kind of exercise and moving and feeling good in my body. And then I make the coffee. Oh, I make the coffee with the espresso machine and the hazelnut creamer. And then I sit in my bed and I take a sip of my coffee and I say, Good morning, Lord. And I start my time with God. And I pray and I read Jesus Always devotional and I read my Bible and I pray some more. It's a beautiful thing. I love my morning routine. So, what is your morning routine? I can I can see those of you with kids that are just laughing right now. You're laughing right now because I know what it's like to have had kids and try to have that kind of a morning routine. It's a good one, Jenna. You're so funny. You're so funny with your listening to your worship and your cat and your things. You're just, oh, you're so funny. But what if you set your alarm a little earlier than your kids? What if, you know, what can you do, even with kids or whatever your morning routine is right now? Is there something that can be done to make it better? And again, what is your goal? Hopefully, as a Christian woman, one of your goals each day is to spend time with God. So, is it first thing in the morning, or is it maybe at lunchtime or in the evening? Hopefully, spending time with God is a frog for you that you intentionally devour at whatever your given time is. Okay, so we're done with the morning routine. For me, I take my shower and I get ready for my day. And then there's the work part of our day, right? So for me, I work from home. You might go to a job, you might be a homemaker and you work from home. You might be retired, but you still have a lot of life to live and you have things that you're doing. I know a lot of retired people that are busy, busy bees that are doing life giving things and purpose filled things and living fully alive by the things that they do with their day. So when you're done with your morning routine and you're ready for your what I'm going to call the work part of your day, what's the very next thing you do? What's your first frog and your next frog and your next frog? And it might vary on each day. For me, it's writing my book for 30 minutes. That's the very first thing that I try to do every single day. But the frog that comes after the writing of the book can vary on day to day, depending on what I need to do for that day. Today, it was this recording this was my second frog. And when I'm done with this, I'm going to be working on another project that I'm putting together for Total Thrive that I'm super, super excited about. It's the thing that took me away from writing the book for a couple of weeks. And only the people on my email list and follow me on social media, some of them know about it, but it's going to become public eventually and you're going to find out about it. So when you finish eating a frog, what's the next thing that you do? When you eat lunch and you're done with lunch, what's the next frog? When you take a break, when you go pick up your kids from school and you come back, when you're ready for the next thing, what's that frog? And be intentional about it. What is the most important thing that I could do with this time? And sometimes it has to be, I just got to do laundry. Doing laundry today isn't going to help me achieve my big God sized goal, but the laundry does have to get done. I get that. And sometimes there are things that are very time sensitive that just have to get done right now. Yeah, I would really love to write my book, Jenna, But right now, I have to get this thing done that's on a deadline that I have to get done. Okay, can you write the book when you're done with that? Can that be your next frog? Or can you create a lifestyle where you get up 30 minutes earlier or carve out 30 minutes in your afternoon somewhere? I highly recommend doing creative things like writing in your first half of your day. You got to know when you are most up to a task. For me, I got to do my most important things that are taxing on my brain in my first half of my day because the second half of my day, I just don't really know how that's going to go. There might be a nap. There will definitely be coffee. I usually go for a walk and that helps with the energy as well sometimes. Okay, so you get the idea. Successful, effective people are those who launch directly into their major tasks and then discipline themselves to work steadily and single mindedly until those tasks are complete. That comes from Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. Now, let's talk through a scenario. You're done with your morning routine and you're ready for your quote work part of your day, right? And let's say you have 5 things on your to do list. Now stop laughing. I know you probably have 10 or 20, but let's just pretend you have 5 or that you've narrowed it down to your top 5 most important things. And let's just assume that none of them are time sensitive, that you have all day to do all 5 things. Ask yourself, if I only got one thing done, if I got nothing else accomplished today, what is the most important thing that I can get done? What would make the biggest impact on my life if I did it? Do that first. Do it and dive in and swallow it and tackle it. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but that one thing might take a long time. And the other 4 things on my list take less time, and I could just tick them off and get them done and then get to that thing. Well, how many times have you gone through the other things only to never get to that other thing, the thing that you're saving for last? How many times did you start thing number 1 and that led you down this rabbit trail where suddenly you're doing this and suddenly that led you to that email and that led you to Googling this thing and researching that thing and like, oh my gosh, I have to call so and so. And whatever the thing is, it led you down. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. The rabbit trails that we go down. Or the first thing just took a lot longer than you thought it was going to take. Or, hello, interruptions to my day, right? So you started with your less important tasks and you're doing great. Look at you go. You're getting the things done. You're checking off the stuff. And then you're just starting the third task when the school nurse calls and says that your kiddo is sick and you got to come pick her up from the school. Or the new puppy just pooped all over your new carpet and then you stepped in it and tracked it all over everywhere. And now you got to go deal with all of that issue and go to the store and buy the stuff and like call the carpet cleaning people. And like that takes over your life, right? Or your frog was to run 7 miles in training for that marathon, but you thought, oh, I'll just do that in the afternoon. And you do these other things in the morning. And then the blizzard comes. And then not only can you not go running outside, you can't even drive to the gym where the treadmill is because, the blizzard. You can't drive. And so I guess you could run in place at home. And so now that task didn't get done. Swallowing your frog first helps ensure that you actually eat the frog. It helps ensure that your little froggy or your big froggy doesn't get squashed by interruptions or shoved aside because the other things took too long or the rabbit trails happened or whatever the thing might be, or you just got sleepy and you just, oh, I'll just do that tomorrow. I don't have the energy to do it now. And speaking of getting sleepy in the afternoon, I do highly recommend naps. NASA did a research that says a 26-minute nap improves job performance by 34% and alertness by up to 54%. So take yourself a nap, get yourself some coffee, and swallow that frog. And watch this video next for more Total Thrive goodness on living your most thriving life as a Christian woman. Now off you go, girl. Decide what your next frog is and swallow it. Yummy. Oh, it's so yummy.